Hey, it's James Davis from the Pax8 Academy down here in APAC, and just wanted to bring another thought bubble that I've been having this week around the industry, and it's all about account management. And I've been speaking to a lot of MSP owners, a lot of account managers this year, and what's been standing out to me more than ever is the impact that a quality uh, account manager provides to a business. They have these innate qualities around them that are driving outcomes for the client, for the business and for the team. Um, and so many MSPs are missing out on this, and there's so much mediocrity around. It's not even people doing an adequate job. It's a below par job, and I really wanted to challenge everyone to look at this. Whether you're an account manager and you're not quite sure if you're doing the right things, but you want to, or maybe you're an owner and you've got some account managers sitting there and they may not be performing. So let's start with what a good account manager should just do by default and then work from there. If you're not proactive with reaching out to clients, picking up the phone, getting on virtual calls, going out to site, and running into problems to solve them, you're not really an account manager. You're sitting there waiting to react to um, things as you have to, and it's not what we need in an MSP. We need someone that uh, proactively builds relationships, goes out of the way to talk to a client just because they want to check in on the relationship and how they're going. We need to talk to not just one key contact that we've got. We actually need to know the organization. So if you've got an account manager and you're account manager and you're not doing that, you've got to think about, is it they don't have the skills? Do they not have a clear enough sort of direction, or do they just not want to do that job? And are they not suited for it naturally? The best account managers that I see have those innate qualities where they're just relationship based, task orientated people that will see a problem, will understand why it's a problem, understand people's different point of view, and will connect the right dots. And that's irrelevant of what they're dealing with. That's just their innate qualities. If that's not your innate qualities, it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to work on it a lot harder and be a lot more deliberate. And what I'm finding is a lot of MSP account managers aren't doing any of those simple things that we spoke about. And what that looks like is we're not proactively reviewing how service is traveling and keeping an eye on what sort of issues the clients are having. We're not picking up the phone to check in. We're not delivering our QBRs, our BTRs, whatever you want to call it. We're not doing roadmaps with the clients. We are being lazy with only going and seeing one contact and not even going to the client site. And it has a real effect. What it does is there's no relationship with the business. There's no trust. So that means if there is a big issue, they're either going to go straight to the owner for it, or they're not going to tell you about it and go start looking elsewhere. It means you're missing out on opportunities to sell them things and generate income. An account manager's job in this industry, contrary to what some account managers use as an excuse with me, is they're not salespeople. You don't have to be a BDM salesperson going out and hunting work. You're a connection to provide what the client needs in terms of good, high quality technology standards to feed your project pipeline and manage the agreement profitability. So while you might not be that traditional salesperson, the account manager's responsibility is to make sure there's profitable clients. And you can't do that without doing sales activity. And that's one of the main outcomes that happens. And it starts without delivering the BTRs, without having conversations, without proactively putting options in front of our clients. It creates a friction with our clients, because they start having more and more issues because the technology isn't working. We're not delivering those better solutions, and we're not getting them fixed. They lose trust. They want to pull out. It gets big, turns into a big issue, and then the owner has to sort it out and smooths it out for a little while, and it happens again. And what I'm starting to see is clients more than ever are starting to lose that patience. They need more cybersecurity. They need better technology solutions. There's more cost-effective options out there sometimes. More than ever, they're starting to look elsewhere. So if we're not doing some of these basic things, there's a real threat to our business in delivering it. And a lot of it comes down to the account manager and wanting to actually do the job. If you're just sitting there trying to be an order taker, it's not the right job for you. Go find something else. There's much better careers that you can be doing. You can make more money, have a better time. If you want to be an account manager and want to do a good job, you should be doing the basics right. And I hear over and over again with people telling me, "Oh, it's the tools. It's so hard to do anything. I'm so busy all the time." When I scratch the surface, and having been an account manager myself in the past, I often find a lot of people only have like 20, 30 clients in their portfolio of an average size of like 20 or 30 seats. There's not that much busyness when you're managing your portfolio well enough. You can do all of the account management without any fancy tools. You can have relationships, and you can get deals, you can keep clients, you can make them happy, all of these kinds of things, and give them great client experiences without a lot of the stuff that account managers ask for or demand, or ultimately just use as an excuse because they don't just want to go talk to the client. And if we're not doing that as our first default action, probably not the right person in the seat. And for the MSP owners out there, what I'm seeing is, when a lot of this isn't happening, the busyness is already falling on you. You're still dealing with their escalations. You're still having to deal with the high level deals. You're still having to deal with pushing compliance on clients, etc. What's the real value? Someone that might be costing you $80,000-$90,000 a year, what are they actually bringing for you? And when I've asked and challenged MSP owners on that before, ultimately it's, well, they do the low level quoting for me, so it's taken off that sort of sales support angle. I have to do less sales admin. Well, just hire a sales admin instead, because what this is doing to your company is you're losing touch with a lot of the day-to-day stuff. You can still maintain some high-level relationships, but that gap of your safety net that you've had in the past is widening. So you either have to have a good account manager, and either get the person that you've got up to scratch, or move them on and replace them with someone with the right qualities, or take on the account management duties and get yourself a sales support officer, whether that's in location, or what I've seen a lot of MSP owners leverage really successfully is hire someone offshored in the Philippines that's more cost effective, that's more diligent, and will will be able to do all of that behind the scenes work for you, so you can just rock up and talk to the clients. There's a lot of different options than what we think there are, and we're getting stuck, and we're getting in that quagmire of mediocrity, and it is going to be quite dangerous. And I am seeing the effects of having poor account management in losing clients' revenue, gross margin, ultimately profitability, simply because the account managers aren't doing their job. And I I will just call bullshit on it a lot of the time, around the excuses that are coming up, and we as an industry and the MSP owners need to set up our people for success. But we go too far in listening to the ultimately what are excuses. We think we can treat salespeople, BDMs, account managers, like techs, and we'll solve the problems by implementing a system. We'll get all this really good process in place. We'll have automatically generating tickets, and that'll just solve all our problems. But ultimately, what it mostly comes down to is, does the person get what the job is? Do they have the skills to do it? And do they have the natural want to do it? Because if you don't really want this, it's very easy to hide there and just sit there and take orders and then make yourself sound busy. But at the end of the day, a really quality person, and when I say quality, it doesn't mean a highly experienced person that's acting like a VCIO. An account manager that's good can be really diligent and not know a lot of the high level business skills and the technology side. They can just be very diligent in making sure they're following up on meetings, they're getting the actions done, they're getting the right resources, they're having conversations with the clients, and they're trusted in their diligence. So have a look at how you're performing, and are you getting a bang for buck? Because brutal truth is, probably you're not, and got to do something about it. If you're thinking the person doesn't have the skills, engage with some external party. There's plenty of external sales consultants and coaching firms that can meet the person and talk to them and do an assessment for you to see if they're right for you, and then make a plan from there, because we can't afford it. We can't afford that. Can't afford to carry their salary, but more important, we can't afford the risk of losing clients. And that's the account manager's main function, is to manage churn and build tighter relationships so that we've got a longer and deeper share of their wallet. So if you've got issues, it's time to look at it. For all those account managers that do a fantastic job, and there are some that I've met in the last 2 months that, like I've said, have made me really reflect. They're a breath of fresh air. There's lots of people out there with those sort of qualities, and we need to start actually hiring them and then setting them up for success. So if you've got someone with the qualities that they're following up, they're delivering on what they're supposed to, but they're actually legitimately overwhelmed and too busy, that's when you invest in better tools. That's when you invest in further coaching and training to help them. That's where you invest in getting a sales support person for them, because you want to keep them and you want to keep them out in front of clients. So if you're looking at metrics, as my final thought, we keep defaulting to tracking activity. If you're having to get to that level of tracking activity, they're the wrong person. You're better off just not having them. You want to track outcome-based things, which it's a sales role. It's how much. It comes down to some simple things. How much are they selling each month? Is it meeting the target that they need? How profitable are the agreements of the portfolio that they manage? And are they under are all agreements under contracted terms? If you don't have those things, the account managers aren't really doing the other activity that they're supposed to. A clever person that's experienced will work out the systems and they'll work out how to meet those sort of metrics. If they're junior, they may need coaching to meet that and get more specific, but they've still got the qualities. So look at it, assess it, have some hard truths, and perhaps get some help as well if you need to. I know most of our owners, technical sales is scary. It's an area that we like to avoid because we don't understand it. So get someone else to help you and have a look at it. This is a bit of a cynical, a bit more negative thought bubble than normal, but for how big of an issue that I'm really seeing across the industry, I thought it would be a good time to give a bit of a shake up and get people thinking about this as we're heading into a more disruptive period than ever. And we need good people around it. We don't need hangers on. So hopefully this has shone a light on an issue that you may have, or it might prove to you that you have really good people and you're doing good things. So make sure you work out how to help them and retain them. Until next time, good luck.